Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rando Rob. First of all, I hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, however you happen to not celebrate is not the right word, but experience Memorial Day week. I'm not sure. My wife and her sister and her mom went yesterday to put flowers on my wife's dad's grave, and then today they went to their grandparents' grave and put flowers on that. So that's something that they always do during Memorial Day weekend. Most of my family that's passed away have all been out of state, and so we don't really do anything like that in my family. But it certainly is nice to have a 3-day weekend, and of course on every Memorial Day I always do try to stop. You know, one thing that I two things I should say. One is when people pass away that are friends of mine on Facebook, I never unfriend them. I never get rid of their account. So I went through earlier today on Facebook and looked at some of the accounts of people that have passed away. You know, and there's a couple that are very I don't know. It's a weird thing what happens to accounts. Sometimes those accounts get taken over by other family members, you know, and it's weird to see activity from people that, you know, that are no longer alive. And I had one online friend whose account, after he passed away, got hacked, and they ended up having to shut the account down, you know, so, but I also leave, especially family members, you know, my grandparents and stuff, I always leave their birthdays and stuff on my calendar and in my phone. So, you know, whenever that time of year comes around, I'm always like, oh yeah, that was my Granny Kraken's birthday or whatever. So, anyway, so I hope that you enjoyed the weekend somehow. And of course, whenever we think about people that have passed, you know, we always think about what we have now. And so, anyway, to get along with this week's Rando Rob item, which has nothing to do with Memorial Day, but you can see the picture of the people over here telling secrets, and that is because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite books in the world. I got this book when I was a kid. I was probably was probably in 6th grade, so maybe 84, maybe 85, somewhere in that range. And this is the book, and it is called Big Secrets. Now, I have talked about this book on a couple of different podcast episodes. The front says, the uncensored truth about all sorts of things you are never supposed to know. Big Secrets by William Poundstone. And then some of the bullet lists here, it says, the formula for Coca-Cola, how playing cards are marked, how to beat a lie detector, what your answers on the Rorschach test really mean, things on American currency you never knew were there, the 11 secret herbs and spices in Kentucky Fried Chicken, credit card mischief, and more. And so there's some teasers here on the back of the book. It says, are there really secret backward messages in rock music, or is somebody nuts? We tested suspect albums at a recording studio to find out. Awesome revelations, page 200. Let's see if there's any other interesting ones here. Feverish rumor has it that Walt Disney's body was frozen and now lies in a secret cryonic vault somewhere beneath the Pirates of the Caribbean exhibit at Disneyland. Certified Stranger Than Fiction Truth, page 219. So, what this book is, this is one of many, many types of books that unfortunately, I won't say completely went away, but that the internet kind of superseded, right? Like if you want to know more about Walt Disney and whether or not he was frozen, you can go on Wikipedia or Google and look that information up. But I like these kind of books because it has all the information here, so you don't have to know, like, oh, I wonder if there's secret things on currency. It's just presented, in this book. So I'm going to go here. This is copyright, on the copyright page, it says copyright 1983 by William Poundstone. So I'm just flipping here to the table of contents. Part 1, going to hell in a shopping basket, food and drink. We got Ronald McDonald drunk and asked him what's really in those hamburgers. Then it has a list of things. Kentucky Fried Chicken, food horror stories, Coca-Cola, Uncolas, liquors, and bitters. Part 2, everything you owe is wrong. That's about money. Part 3, kids don't try this at home. It says perfumes, playing cards, letters, stamps, and envelopes, and paraphernalia. Part 4, Alice, let's cheat. The eye test, the Rorschach test, the lie detector test, and how to crash the Freemasons. Part 5, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. This is all about magic tricks, exposing magic tricks, which in 1983 was very taboo thing to do. This is long before the masked magician or, people exposing magic tricks. And it says David Copperfield's dancing handkerchief, Harry Blackstone sawing a woman in two, Uri Geller's blindfold driving, Doug Henning's vanishing horse and rider, The Amazing Kreskin social security number, and divination, dowsing for water is what that was about. And then part 6 is all about media. Did Neil Armstrong blow his lines? Secret radio frequencies, secret messages on records, subliminal shots in movies, and is Walt Disney frozen? Now, I know that I did an episode about radio scanners, and I know that I talked about these secret radio frequencies on that one. And then I'm pretty sure on, I think I did a music episode where I talked about backmasking or subliminal stuff. If I haven't done a You Don't Know Flack on that, maybe I'll do one on subliminal. That's a good idea. So anyway, I remember that my mom, that I got this book at Sam's Club. So if you're not a part of the country that has Walmart and Sam's Clubs, here is a graphic explaining the different parts of a barcode, what the different parts of a barcode mean, what the, how it shows how the bars correlate to different numbers, the widths of the bars correlate to numbers, and there's a checksum at the end. So just all this kind of stuff that as a kid I just found fascinating. Now you may, I probably also talked about this on maybe one of the BBS episodes, and maybe the Gas Chamber, because as BBS's had upload and download files and things like that, but there were also BBS's that had text files, and sometimes they call them G files. And those were always files, that contain information about either hacking or freaking. There were a lot of BBSs that had it was called a HP VAC section, which was hacking, freaking, virus, anarchy, cracking. So it would be that kind of stuff. And the advantage of having those kind of files was that you didn't need a lot of drive space because text files are very small and games could be very large, Anyway, on BBSs, you would read little files that were similar to these articles, you know. But you were always in a better position on BBSs if you had things to upload. And so I typed in some of these articles. I typed them into a Commodore 64 text editor and would upload them. And I don't remember if I cited my reference or not. I might have just acted like I somehow knew what I was talking about. But I just loved this book. And so I took it to school. I mean, I read it, 100 times. And there are a lot of things in here, like stuff about like lie detectors and the Rorschach test and stuff that I read, as a kid, a young teen, that just stuck with me my whole life, So I had this book, and many years later, I was at a used bookstore and just happened to be looking around, and I ran across this. Bigger Secrets by the same guy, William Poundstone. And it says there's all different kinds of, like, all new things, right? And this one is copyright 1986. So here's real quick the table of contents for this one. There's food, which talks about junk food and oyster Rockefeller. And under junk food, it says, we confirm your worst suspicions about Oreos, Twinkies, White Castle hamburgers, or Girl Scout cookies. Next is clubs. It has more things like Knights of Columbus and different fraternal organizations. Stuff about L. Ron Hubbard. That's interesting. Let's see what else. Power, and this talks about secrets of state, the telephone company, psychological tests. Competition, says some of the things. Concealed blackjack computers, 3-card Monty, how to fix a coin toss. And then there's a little section here about video games. It says secrets of Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Xevious. Under commerce, we've got mall horror stories and then paraphernalia. And again, there's a section here about magic illusions. It says the Indian rope trick, Tony Robbins' Firewalk, Levitating Woman, Headline Predictions, Doug Henning's Zigzag Woman, Doug Henning very big in the early to mid 80s, and David Copperfield's Statue of Liberty disappearance. And finally here under entertainment, we have things about backward messages on records, more backwards messages apparently, secret images hidden inside movies, let's see, stuff about Marlon Brando, and secrets about amusement parks. This is the dire secrets behind the Hellhole and the Haunted Mansion, plus where to get hard liquor at Disneyland. So there you go. So the giveaway was that there was a big secrets and that there was a bigger secrets. And in here it says other books by William Poundstone, biggest secrets. It was a trilogy. And so once I knew that, I tracked this down. I don't have the cover, but you can see the spine here. Biggest Secrets by William Poundstone. So this is the third in the trilogy. I remember enjoying the second one a lot. I don't remember enjoying this one quite as much. Let's see here. This is copyright 1993, so 10 years after the first one. Under people, we have people's real ages and secret identities. This was, again, a big thing about like actors and celebrities and having their real names. But, again, now we have Google. Under merchandise, Mrs. Fields cookies, Frosted Flakes, Grey Poupon, mystery meat, secret ingredients, fakes, the formula for Play-Doh, how they get a ship in a bottle, and secret places. Number 3 under codes, we have lottery tickets, the Beale cipher, codes and texts, graffiti, and hidden pictures. I don't remember the section on codes and all this stuff. I may go back and reread this tonight, actually. We've got illusions, how to pull a rabbit out of a hat, escapes, the gun trick, Siegfried and Roy's White Tigers, and his stage hypnotism for real. Ooh. Under performance, we have blue movies of the famous, So if you don't know what actors got their start in, if you don't know Sylvester Stallone's first movie, you should go look that up. Ingmar Bergman's soap commercials, The Wasteland, Backward Messages on Records, I guess that's part 3, and Subliminal Shots in Movies. I remember the first one, there's an article about subliminal shots, and it talks about the subliminal shots that are in The Exorcist. And if you don't know about that, you should get a digital copy of The Exorcist, something where you can pause the movie and move it a frame forward and frame back. One of the first ones is when I think it's the mother is being hypnotized in The Exorcist, and there's and she's has this like dream sequence. There's somebody going down, maybe coming up out of a subway, and there's a flash of a terribly it's a ghostly face, and it's only on there for like 3 or 4 frames, and when you pause it, it's one of the creepiest things ever. And it's definitely a thing where I've watched The Exorcist with people who didn't know about it and never saw it, and then I have watched once you tell people about it and you watch, you can't unsee it. It's right there. It used to just scare the bejesus out of me. Finally, here we have rituals, and we've got Boy Scouts, the Equator Crossing Ritual, and Organized Crime, and Tales from the Crypt. So, again, I don't remember loving this one as much as the other ones, but 93, of course, it still predates the internet, for me, but, so much of the stuff like right after that, and maybe by the time I probably didn't get it when it was brand new. I'm pretty sure I got it at a used book sale, and so by the time I got it, it's very possible that I was already on the internet, and so these things wouldn't have been as exciting. To have your friend come over and go, "Hey, I've got a book that has the 11 secret herbs and spices in Kentucky Fried Chicken." They literally took a piece of KFC to a lab and had it broken down and identified, what the secret recipe for KFC was. So to have that, as a kid in your house was pretty cool. Once the internet came out, I'm sure you could Google it and find the answers to a lot of these things. But anyway, these 3 books, man, I just absolutely loved. I keep them on. They stay on my bookshelf, of course. I've gotten rid of lots and lots. I've probably gotten rid of, hundreds of books in my lifetime. Maybe 500 books. I used to have an entire collection of books on UFOs, and I got rid of 90% of them just because, probably 95%. Just, after a while, they just take up space, and you've already read them. I was a big fan of once you read a book, I would just keep it because I would reference it. These are all nonfiction type books, and so you can go back and reference them and reread them and stuff. And I don't know if these are available as ebooks or not. I used to have a book scanner that would scan books without destroying them. You didn't have to take them apart or anything, but unfortunately the scanner died, and Windows wouldn't recognize it, or something happened to the USB interface. It died, and so I can't scan these in anymore. But somebody may have already done that. But even if I have them in electronic, format, it's still nice to have them on a bookshelf and go back and just be able to pluck one up. And I really have found over the years that if I read something in a physical book, I will retain the information a lot longer. I'll remember physically where it is in the book. Like if I'm looking for something, I could go, okay, it's 2/3 the way through. It was on the left page or right page or the top or the bottom. And that's just something I don't get that same type of memory from reading stuff electronically. I do read an awful lot of ebooks, but there's something about physical books that just helps it stick in my brain a little bit. So, but yeah, I think I got that first one. I know I got the first one from Sam's Club, and I don't really remember the second one. I just ran across it, though. I do remember that. I wasn't looking because I thought there was only one book in the series. I didn't know there were more. But when I got that second one, I was like, I bet there's a third one, and then eventually I found that third one. So Great books if you run across them or whatever. And if you're the kind of guy like I am that just likes digging through and finding out little facts and little secrets about stuff, and lots of good stuff that can be used in conversation when someone says, well, I went to a stage hypnotist, and you go, I read a thing about that one time. So anyway, that's what I've got for Rando Rob. So anyway, again, I don't know if it's appropriate to say happy Memorial Day weekend, but I hope you had a good Memorial Day, and I hope you kept some family members or friends or anybody that was close to you in your memories, and that's certainly what we did today. So thanks, guys. Thank you for everything. And I've got the new episode of, I've just got to finish editing the new episode of Sprite Castle. Will probably drop tomorrow, probably around lunchtime. And it's all about Ball Blazer, the game from LucasArts, actually Lucasfilm, before they changed their name to LucasArts. So it should be a good one. So anyway, thank you guys, and I will talk to y'all soon.